Hello everyone. This is actually the launch of a new YouTube series. Please ignore the sound in the background, that's my dishwasher running. And what I'm trying to do with this series is I'm trying to go through all the processes of a person or a family purchasing their very first pet snake. So, me myself, I do have experience in owning snakes in the past. I used to have a ball python and a Burmese python. About 12 years ago is when I got rid of them both. However, I do want to go through and kind of mimic the processes that a first-time snake owner will go through. Kind of what they go through when they first get the snake, and pretty much what to expect after they've owned the snake for a while, and the changes that go through the snake and what you need to do with them. I have made a purchase of a snake from a very reputable breeder. That's what I do recommend. I would not go to the pet store and get them. I would do a little research, find a breeder of said snake species that you want to buy, and purchase directly from them. It really won't be any more expensive, to be honest, but you know you're getting an extremely healthy snake at that point in time, especially if you go through a highly recommended breeder, which I did. We currently live in North Carolina, out in Wilmington, and I actually found a breeder out in Salisbury. He became highly recommended, so that's why I wanted to make my purchase. They sell them down the street at PetSmart, but again, I wanted to go through a reputable breeder. If you are thinking of purchasing your very first snake, hi Lance, it's my dog Lance. I would suggest you go with one of 3 different snake species. The 3 that I would recommend are the ball python, the milk snake, or the corn snake. Now there are pros and cons to each one of them. Let's start with the ball python. The ball python is, without a doubt, the most beautiful snake out of the 3. Their colors are gorgeous. They're also the most docile of the 3. They're very calm, they're very slow moving. They won't bite you unless you, attack the snake. I've never even seen a ball python strike at anybody. They're super nice, super friendly. They grow about 4 to 5 feet long. It's not huge for a pet snake. It's also not incredibly small. You would need a container bigger than this probably. They'll live on, small to medium rats their whole life. Once they hit full size, of course. And they're really a great pet snake. The drawback to ball pythons, this is from my own experience and research that I've done, they are very, very picky eaters. A lot of them will only eat live. I prefer to feed frozen thawed, personally, and I'll get into more of that in a minute. Also, they will go off food. They'll just refuse to eat for months at a time. It can be kind of nerve-wracking as a snake owner when your pet won't eat for such a long period of time. It happened to me, and it's happened a lot from the research that I've done, which is why we are not getting a ball python now. The second one is the milk snake. Milk snakes are also reasonably docile. They don't grow very big, maybe 2 to 3 feet long. They live on mice their whole life. They're not as pretty, in my opinion, as the other 2 on the list. I like to look at my snake. I love the colorations. I don't really like the colorations in milk snakes. And also, they tend to be a little more expensive than the other 2. The other 2 on the list you could get for $30, $40 from a reputable breeder. A milk snake will run you around $100, if not more, depending on the type. So that leaves us with the corn snake. The corn snake, they also grow about 4 to 5 feet long. They're a little skinnier, so you could actually just feed them large mice once they hit adulthood for the rest of their lives. They live about 20 years, maybe longer if held in captivity. They're very docile. They're very curious. They will move around a lot, but they are very docile. They will eat like a garbage disposal. Anything you throw in there. They're really beautiful snakes. And they're very cheap. They're very easy to find. So that's what we actually are going with here. This is my setup here for our new corn snake. We don't have him yet. I did order him from the breeder, and we are expecting him in about 3 days. So we're just trying to make sure we have everything ready for him. If you couldn't tell by the name of this vlog, his name is going to be Kirby. And so we're going to kind of just go through the process of from beginning to end as far as what you're going to go through buying your first pet snake. Kirby is going to be, when we get him, he's going to be about 18 months old. He'll be about 2 feet long. He will grow more. Right now he's feeding on about medium-sized mice. I do plan on feeding him frozen thawed, which means that, you know, the mice has been killed, it's been frozen, and then when you feed it, you thaw him out before you feed him to the snake, and we're going to go through that once we do get him. I prefer that personally because if you have a snake that only eats live and they refuse food, then bang, you have a pet mouse or a pet rat, and yeah, I don't want one of those personally. Also, feeding frozen thawed is cheaper. Save about $1 or $2 per mouse. So that's what we're going to go with that. This is my enclosure that I've set up for him. This is a hefty tub. It's got these locks on the side. These are very, very, very important because snakes are escape artists. Let's see how big it is. There's a sticker over here. It is 24 by 16. That's a 40 quart. Again, my snake, when I get him, is going to be about 2 feet long, so he'll be able to fit just one way. So the rule of thumb is however long your snake is, he should be able to fit two connecting sides. I personally want it a little bigger, and once Kirby does get bigger, I'm going to upgrade the size of his container. That's just my own personal choice. But again, the rule of thumb is you can't keep a snake in a container that's longer than 2 of its connecting sides because you want him to be able to stretch out. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to be drilling. This is the top. I'm going to be drilling obviously several holes for good air circulation. I haven't done that yet. I'm also going to be putting a heating pad down on this side underneath the enclosure because they do want a nice place so they can regulate their temperature. I'm going to set it at about 80 degrees, 80 to 85 degrees. I have a thermostat that comes with it. When I do get that, I will make another video. I'm actually expecting it later today. And I'll show you how to set that up. People ask, why aren't you using a glass tank, a glass terrarium? It's a good question. When I had snakes before, that's what I kept them in. But I've been watching a lot of videos on people taking care of their snakes, and this has become a common alternative. There's a couple of reasons. First of all, the snake does not care what size container. If anything, they like this better because as you can see, it's not as see-through as the glass is, so therefore the snake won't feel as exposed. This is also a lot cheaper. A terrarium this size would cost me $60, $70. This cost me $8. And once again, the snake doesn't care in the slightest. Now, the only drawback is you can't see the snake very well, but I want to have a very docile snake that's being used to handle, so I do plan on taking Kirby out probably on a daily basis other than feeding days or when he's shedding. But again, we'll go into that when it does happen. And this is pretty much it for the beginning. If you're thinking about getting your first pet snake, I hope that you subscribe to my channel and, you know, go through the process with us. You know, enjoy this experience together. Snakes are a whole lot of fun. They're really cool pets. They're very interesting. It's different than what everybody else is doing. You know, if you look online, you know, the reptile community, it's a great community, and everybody's willing to help and share their experiences. Snake owning can be very addicting. I find it difficult if anybody who purchases a snake and likes it, that they won't want to go out and get 2 or 3 more. They're a really, really interesting pet to have. And I hope that you all go through this experience with us. Again, this is Kirby's blog. We're going to be going through the entire process with you. The next one's going to be setting up the heat lamp. I'm going to go ahead and drill those holes off camera. And probably the next one after that is us unboxing Kirby, our new member of the family. And I'm going to show you how to unbox him and the process of you know, getting him acquainted with his home. And I hope that you come along with us on this adventure. Anyways, this is Kirby's blog, episode 1, signing out. You guys have a great evening.